shadows they wander along, old ruins where fears have grown, eyes that watch from ancient stone, whispers chill right to the bone. Gothic castles rise in the night, ghostly figures glide out of sight, wolf howling under pale moonlight, darkness creeps and grabs too tight. You have fallen into the EuroCrypt. There is no escape from the EuroCrypt. Fog curling through cobblestone streets, footsteps echoing heartbeats, vampires hunt their nightly feast, lurking monsters are released. Silent scream in a sepia dream, melancholy miles downstream, no one's safe or so it seems, worlds unravel at the seams. You have fallen into the EuroCrypt. There is no escape from the EuroCrypt. Fallen into the EuroCrypt. There is no escape from the EuroCrypt.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's going on, man? We are back. What's going on? Oh, you muted, Uncle Bill. Wait.
That's hilarious when you know what that is.
Right.
Like that, yeah.
Right.
That's just, yeah.
Yeah, man. We got Uncle Bill on with us, man. It's been a minute.
Yeah.
Last time we did some we did some British.
That's right, yeah.
Horror, man. Peeping Tom and
yeah, I learned a lot about those movies just from doing that show, really.
yeah, man. Hell yeah.
And like every time I do one of these shows, like I learn a lot, especially like you know, the different Italian giallo shows and the British shows and the tour of the world show, so to speak. Yeah.
Yeah, we did the tour of Italy's with you and stuff. Yeah. But yeah, man, today we're coming on and we're gonna review the new Celluloid Dreams release. Glad they sent us a copy, and yep, they sent. So it's like simultaneous review on this thing, man. Like we're gonna get into it serious. But
well, I mean, you guys, I'm pretty sure you both had seen this film before this came out, right?
Oh,
yeah.
God, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, just so everybody knows, this is my first. When this came out and I got
Right.
it, this is the first time I'd seen this one. So yeah, I'm coming at this from like brand new. Just watched it a bunch of times, but like the first time I've seen this particular giallo. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Right. So when like Dirk was telling me that you were coming on board, I was super excited. I was just hoping and praying that you like this film when you come on. Because I've been championing this for like 10, 15 years, this film. And now it's starting to get the recognition I think it deserves.
Right.
It'd be awkward if I didn't know, wouldn't it, Darren? If I was just like,
Oh,
this
yeah,
is
yeah.
right here.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely, yeah. I was praying, man.
But yeah, man, they nailed this release though, man. You got, I mean, it's like over 4 hours of special features on here. You got the 4K. They're in the Italian. It's in the English, and then it's got. I don't know if you saw this or not, but you can take. It's just the score. You can watch the movie with just the score playing. Like that's killer. Like just put it on in the background kind of thing, you know. Neil Morricone. score. So, man,
when I saw that, I was like, dude, I had no idea. That guy must have done like tons of scores in his lifetime, because every so often I'll just come across a movie like this that he's on it, and you're like, what in the hell? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't expect it to be him doing it, but he must have just, like, back at that time, before you know, all the good, the bad, and the ugly, and all that stuff, like before he got really, really famous, I guess I should say. Those scores are to have him on something like this is amazing.
I want to say he's done over 300 scores at least. I mean,
it is, yeah. His IMDb, you just scroll forever, man.
Yeah. It's like,
he literally even though he was kind of well known, he wasn't, the big icon that he became in later years. So when they actually asked him to do this film, they were surprised he said yes. Because obviously he did A Bird with a Crystal Plumage, which is pretty much, around this time as well. But he was and that score is just so haunting, and the way it's played throughout the film, like one of the best scores, I think, in a Giallo film.
Man. And I mean, and also you get like I said, it's an isolated score. That's what I was trying to think of.
Yeah.
But you get the English subs, you get let's see. In the extras, you get 2 commentary tracks. You get one with Aldo, Lado himself, and Federico Cadeo, which is a pretty good commentary. And then there's a great commentary by Guido Hinkle, which is part owner of this company, Celluloid Dreams.
Yeah,
he does a great job. He does his research. Like he goes into fabrics. I mean, like he gets down in the details when he does these scores. I'm like, man, he is wild. I know Case of the Bloody Iris, same thing. He did an awesome job on that. And you get the Grindhouse version of this, the VHS version, if you want to watch it like the way it was pan and scanned. Like,
I was curious about that, Dirk. So it's called Paralyzed, right? Like the VHS version that's on here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So is it basically the same movie? Is it shorter? Is it longer? Like,
it's the same movie. It's just, it's not in widescreen,
Gotcha. So it's just
that's the way people were seeing it in the US.
That was the American release. Yeah. I watched the Grindhouse version this time, literally about half hour before we come on.
Yeah.
But I've seen all 3 versions,
It's the same. There's nothing taken away or anything or added, but then you get the Blu-ray with this as well. You get a bonus disc, like 4 hours, like I said, 4 hours, 17 minutes. The Knights of Malestrana, this 2015 interview with Aldo Lado and Jean Sorel. That's an hour and 41 minutes. And I was like, holy shit.
That's about as good as a making of you're going to get, I think.
Yeah. And then you get another interview with Aldo Lado, all about Lado. It's a 2018 interview. It's 32 minutes, 32 seconds. You get the Quest for Money interview with producer Enzo Doria. It's 20 minutes and 10 seconds. That's the Italian producer, I believe. And then you get to Italy and back. It's a German producer. There's an interview with him, and that's like 30 minutes. Goes through. Are you muted?
Sorry, these dogs are going crazy. I was just trying to keep the dogs.
I thought you was talking to me. My bad.
No.
Okay. The most beautiful voice. So there's a singer that sings with the Ennio Morricone score throughout the film, and her name is Etta Del Orso, and that's a great little featurette with her, man. She's goes through her whole how she came up and everything. She was in films. There's another Cuts Like a Knife with the editor Mario Mora, and the editing in this film is like, man, it's top notch, dude. Top tier editing in this.
He was saying, he was saying in that interview that he was the first one to kind of do the whole montage with the flashback things. And then a lot of the Giallos, if you notice, to come after do that technique in them as well. Mm-hmm. But he was kind of the pioneer for that.
Right. And then you get The Man on the Bridge and Philosophy, Perception, and Imprisonment. And that's a damn good featurette, like on the whole history of Prague. And it's 23 minutes. It's a retrospective visual essay by the Flying Machiste brothers. But that son of a bitch. I mean,
who the hell are the Flying Machiste brothers? Boy?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Hey, man, but I promise you, listen to that, and it's like, damn, like I feel like I need to go read some more shit somewhere, after listening to that.
I think that's the best extra feature on this
I
set.
think so too.
Because there's 2 or 3 points that I wrote down that we'll mention as we go through the film.
Right.
That absolutely, I didn't see it, until I obviously seen this feature out. But you can't miss it. Once you can't miss it. So I'll be bringing them up.
And then you get the Melestrana export credits. So it's the credits from Germany.
Right.
And then you get the image gallery posters, which it's hell of a release, man. I know, I couldn't ask for anything better than this, for real. Like I have the Twilight.
No way.
I think I have the Twilight Time before this, and this is top tier. Like
it's insane. It's insane to me though that movies like this. Not to say that this is not a great movie, because it is, but I'm just saying little known, early 70s Giallos are getting releases like this, where it's you got hours of special features and books, and you got lobby cards and stuff that come with. It's just insanity. And the weird thing is that a movie like this really does deserve this kind of release. Meanwhile, not to mention other companies, you got fuckers putting out Annie Lee's meat pies and shit in 4K and
there's the 88 films version as well, and it's like a brick too. It's got a booklet, everything. I haven't broke open yet. It's got a Troy Haworth commentary on there as well.
Yeah. But man, I got a little clip, man. If y'all want me to play it, or if y'all want me to wait, I can hold off.
Go for it.
No, you're good, man. You're good.
Okay. Well, here we go. Hopefully we're good. So with the powers that be, it's kind of running with the running theme of the film. So here we go.
They don't fly. Don't let them fly.
What do you mean? Who? Tell me.
They don't fly.
Rain of blood. I saw human beings drinking rain, and their huge bellies swelling and bursting, spurting out money. Red rain, rain of blood. Oh, why don't you let butterflies with gaily colored wings fly free in the clear skies? Yeah, why don't you let butterflies with gaily colored wings fly free in the clear skies? I thought I was dreaming, and I washed my face, and the water was as red as blood. My blood. I wanted to fly away in the clear sky, but they cut my wings. Oh, why don't you let butterflies with daily colored wings fly free in the clear skies? Oh, why don't you let butterflies with gaily colored wings fly free in the clear skies? Yeah, why don't you let butterflies with gaily colored wings fly free in the clear skies? I thought I was dreaming.
I can't believe that wasn't
Right.
a huge hit for him.
Yeah.
Like, so
Yeah,
that
man.
line though instantly creeped me out when I heard it. Like, they don't let them fly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it takes on such a different meaning, like, as you get further into the film. But when you first hear it, it's a great line, number one. It's a great piece of dialogue, but like the connotation of what it means later on is even better, really.
Yeah, and it's a trip that Aldo Lado wrote that song. He even said he was going to perform it, but he found this guy, and like,
Yeah.
So
And that
I
guy
wonder how
went
it
on
would've
to
went-
like,
I wonder how it would have went with Aldo Lado.
that would have been a
I
completely
think we all would
different
have
person.
liked to have heard that. Yeah.
But surprisingly, that guy went on to like be in this band, and he was pretty big thing at one time. He went on to like very successful career after this film,
Okay.
which you would never think if you listen
No,
to that song.
not by that, because that sounds like a Charlie Manson demo. That
Literally like
you know?
someone just making it up on the spot.
Yeah,
Which is
yeah.
probably how it did happen with Lado, to be honest.
Right. Well, man, I got a synopsis. I'm gonna read it from the actual VHS release that was released in the States. The Paralyzed
Yeah.
VHS. So, which I thought it was a great synopsis. So I was like, well, I'm not even going to attempt to write one. Like after reading this one, I was like, so an American journalist in Prague is found apparently dead and brought to a hospital. The victim, though immobile, can still think and hear, and to his horror, hears the doctor pronounce him dead. Though a series of flashbacks, the victim tries to recollect the events which lead to his condition. It all started with his dogged investigation of the disappearance of his lover, Myra, and leads through a twisted labyrinth of political brainwashing, sex cults, and murder. Will the victim regain control in time, or will he witness his own autopsy? I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
that's a
damn good-
really good
That's pretty much
synopsis.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
that's pretty much it.
A lot of times they're not. A lot of times they have nothing to do with the film, and I'm like, so.
So I'll
They're
just tell
pretty
you, like,
vague, aren't
right off the bat, I think that, and I was telling you this beforehand too, guys. When I first turned this movie on, within the first probably 10 minutes, I knew it was going to be good. And I don't know how exactly, but I think my first indication was the scene, the credit sequence scene where like it's drive like the ambulance or whatever, like,
Yeah.
through the whole downtown.
Yeah.
And like you're seeing it kind of from that perspective, and you're seeing everything. I kind of knew from that moment that this was somebody that kind of knew what they were doing, and the cinematography was really good. And just from that opening scene and the way, I just love the way that was shot, but also too the fact that pretty early on in the movie, you find out that this movie is basically backwards in and of the fact that there's the reporter is, you think you don't think he's dead, but everyone else thinks he's dead. But he's got an internal monologue where he's talking to himself and to the audience, and he's basically like,
He's
what's going,
screaming.
he's basically like, what's going on? Like, I'm stuck
alive.
in my own, I'm alive and I'm stuck in my
Yeah.
own body, but nobody can hear him. And he's basically just paralyzed, i.e. the name of the VHS.
And
But yeah, sorry, go ahead, Dirk.
it reminds me of Metallica 1, that song. Johnny's
it's
Johnny's
very
got
much-
a gun.
very
It
much
kind of
like
reminds
that.
me of, it puts me in that mind. But yeah, it's when I first was watching it, I was like, is the dude dead? Like I that's how it took me at first. But then, like you said, then you start realizing, no, he's not. And he's got to kind of put the pieces together, and he can't remember anything until he starts hearing people talking about him. And they're looking at it like the nurse. There's a doctor and a nurse looking at his passport, reading information about him and stuff. And then he's like, okay, I'm Gregory Moore. And then that's when like all this stuff starts coming back.
Yeah, and it's like a real murder mystery because the dude is dead at the beginning of the film.
Yeah.
You think, and then like they take him off to the morgue, and that's the beginning of the film, and the rest of it is just kind of elapsed flashbacks to him trying to figure out and piece together like what happened that led up to that point.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Which
Absolutely.
and the way it's done is great. Like it's just.
I mean, it's even got the like like when it starts, you see a raven at his body, and there's
Yeah.
a groundskeeper sweeping, and this raven starts like squawking. It kind of gets the groundskeeper's attention for some reason. That's like an Edgar Allan Poe reference, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But that's what I got from it. But I mean, it's and then we continue on, man. And that what you were saying, like when they're going through Prague, you see that it's kind of a shaky cam a little bit, but it's still steady. You can tell somebody knows what they're doing. And that's all guerrilla style. Like no permits, and
right.
You gotta think, man, he's taking a big risk. They could have all ended up in jail doing these shots.
Exactly, yeah. Because it took like 2 days to do like most of those shots guerrilla style. Because the one producer got back to him and said, look, it's going to take up to 7 days to get permits. So he just went out there with John Sorrell and Barbara Bach and shot everything as quickly as they could and then kind of moved on. Because even though it's set in Prague, 90% of the film is actually done in Zagreb, which is Yugoslavia at the time, now Slovakia, obviously.
And that's real close to Russia.
Yeah, right? Yeah. But he said the architecture in that place was literally like Prague anyway,
right?
And I couldn't tell the difference. I'm from Europe, obviously. I couldn't even tell the difference. But the backdrop, if you've got Prague, that is superb. And
you got this astronomical clock. Like some of the architecture is just very old. Like feels like a timeless place almost, like where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's. After the Second World War, they didn't really, construct anything, and it literally was, like you say, going back to the 1940s, all the buildings are original. And it gives you a really, good kind of sense of like, because throughout the whole film, there's with him, because the only reason that he knows he's not dead is the fact that he can remember. And can you imagine that? It'd be like being buried alive or whatever. It just would.
Well, that's the beauty part. And there's been other movies that have done this.
Right.
I mean, have done this same kind of like gimmick too. I'm trying to think of which ones there, but I know I've seen other ones like this where the guys, like people are stuck inside their own bodies and they can't communicate. I can't think of which one right off the top of my head.
Trap.
But yeah, and that's probably one of the scariest ideas is that you're alive, but everyone thinks you're dead and you can't communicate whatsoever to tell them any different.
And it keeps leading up to, like they're trying to resuscitate them.
Yeah.
It's leading up to an autopsy. And it's like, what?
Yeah. And that's kind of that's the other cool thing is that like they kind of like it's implied that if something doesn't happen, that's the threat at the end is he's gonna be given an autopsy if he doesn't figure some shit out and like begin to move or something.
Right.
Because that's where it's all kind of leading up to. But this guy though, I was watching Gene Sorrell, I think is his name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I was watching him and I was like, I know this dude from something. I was like, his face is just instantly like memorable. It's something about his eyes and things too. But he was also like and then I had to look it up, but he was also one of the dudes that was in Lizard in a Woman's Skin.
Definitely.
I'd seen that and I was like, that's where I know him from. Like, because he's
in a ton of Jolly. He's been in Lindsay. He's been in some Lindsay's Jolly. He's been in Sweet Body of Deborah, Perversion Story, Fulci Giallo, another Fulci Giallo.
He did all the early all the late 60s, early 70s ones. He was a massive star at the time as well. He was kind of a big get for them.
I always mix him up. I don't mix him up, but he looks real familiar to Franco Nero too.
He does. Yeah. That's like, he's very, very similar. Yeah.
Right.
He got cast because of that quite a few times. But the whole cast in this, so you've got Ingrid Ferlin, who plays Jessica. She was kind of well known for doing like Ingmar Bergman films.
Ingmar Bergman, yeah.
Yeah.
That's another director that
got a good pedigree.
he deserves to be looked at, like, for real. He's got some crazy, insane masterpiece films.
Absolutely. You've got Mario Adorf, he plays Jack, and people will know him for What Have You Done to Your Daughters, The Bird with the Crystal Plumage are the two big ones. Barbara Black Belly of Tarantula, she's great in that. She was even in Danny Steinman's The Unseen, like early 80s slasher.
And she's still married to Ringo Starr.
She wasn't at the time of the film, though. She was married to an Italian guy. Yeah. So literally, that's what they brought her on board, because she was classed as an Italian, and because it was like a co-production, they literally had to get, all kind of nationalities. And Mario Adorf was German, of course, even though he was big in Italian films at the time. So yeah.
I just want to say that her husband. I just want to say her husband's name real quick. Her husband's name at the time was Augusto Gregorini, which is the best Italian name ever.
Yep, and then
most Italian name ever. Yeah,
she goes on to marry Ringo Starr, and they're still married today, from what I understand. So,
from 81 on, according to this, they've been married. So,
damn,
dear Lord.
Yeah. And she was stunning at the time.
She was
film.
Definitely
such a beautiful actress. But I don't know if Dirk, if you got anything on kind of, the cinematography and director and all that.
I figured we'd just go through the film a little bit,
Yeah, that sounds good to me. Yeah. Oh, we could just touch upon Aldo Lado, obviously, if people don't know.
Yeah.
He went on to do a brilliant giallo, in my opinion, called Who Saw Her Die. I think Night Train Murders, I know we had the versus the Last Ace on the Left show, but to me, Night Train Murders is a top 10 film. So I think just for those 3 films alone, although we did do different other genres, which I've not really checked out, he's kind of not, you wouldn't put him in the top of like an Argento or a Fulci, but for me, he kind of just creeps into my top 10 just for those 3 films. And yeah, I was surprised he didn't go on to do bigger and better things, really.
No, I mean, I'll be honest with you, Darren, like, in terms of guys that I really didn't know anything about, and then films that I would go on to see, it's really 2 guys that I think are right up there. And it's like, I've said this a million times, but Massimo Dellamano and now him. I feel like those 2 guys, for people that are directors that guys don't know a lot about, even people that are really into horror films, these 2 have got to be like 2 of the best.
I think so, man.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. Dellamano's in my top 5 for sure. No doubt about it. Out of all the Italians.
But I haven't seen, because you guys, or Darren, you mentioned like Who Saw Her Die. I haven't seen that one, but I have seen Night Train Murders. I've owned Night Train Murders because Blue Underground put that out years and years ago. But I haven't seen Who Saw Her. It's on my list now for sure.
Who Saw Her Die it's similar in tone, I'd say, to Don't Look Now, kind of. But you could also mix it with, you could say, Don't Torture a Duckling as far as subject matter. Like,
right. I'd say it's kind of like an Argento. It's like Lado doing an Argento style film. But I don't want to spoil it for Uncle Bill, but it's an early scene in the snow with a young, like featuring a young girl and a figure in black, which, oh man, you've got to see.
Yeah.
Superb, the opening to that film. And whenever you want to, if ever you want to come on and we cover that, I'm quite happy to do that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean,
I think you'll love it.
It'd be awesome
really
too.
Do.
But yeah. So where was we at? We was at the.
The opening, yeah.
Really at the beginning, like yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So like the news station, like he's gonna meet his love of his life and all this, and you can tell like. So we hear something about these guys, like he's on the phone. And these guys have been arrested because they're basically revolting against the government or whatever. And they just throw them in. Then they haven't been arrested, but they throw them in an insane asylum. So you get the drift like right out the gate where you're at, like what type of place this place is in Prague. But so he's not worried about shit.
Love that idea too. That
okay.
I was just saying, I just love the idea too that like they're basing a lot of this on the kind of the political situation in some of these countries at the time too.
Yeah, man. Like
a lot
anybody
of
in
the
positions,
commentary on it.
yeah, anybody in positions of power that don't want to let go of their power. You know, Dallamano touched on that in Solange as well. Like, you know,
Oh,
these
yeah.
people
Yeah.
just doing whatever the hell they want to do, and there's no repercussions in that one. But in this one, it's kind of ambiguous because, you know, well, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. But
Yeah.
It's that
yeah.
1%, isn't it? That 1% of the population that
elite.
are above everyone else, the elite. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
how,
That's
you know,
that's the common theme. Yeah.
Yeah.
how the young as well, they feed off the young, and it's even going on today, obviously, as we speak.
Yeah.
So it's very
Soldiers.
relevant, this film, I think.
Yeah,
for today.
soldiers or young women, you know, in this one. So, but it talks about the soldiers, anyone who's willing to die, basically.
Yeah.
At one point in the film, but yeah, he's with his girl and all, and they're all lovey-dovey, and you know, then he takes her to this damn soiree with all these fancy people, and they're like vultures around her. Like they just surround her, man. And he kind of drifts off. He's getting distracted by other people. Like, what the...
Well, he works with Jessica, and she kind of got a thing for him.
Oh yeah, she's trying to get it in all the time.
I think as well. Yeah,
he's like, bitch, please, you know, like I ain't. You know.
That's what
and you've got Jack, who's like this alcoholic who works with him as well, as a journalist, played by Mario Adolfo, I mentioned earlier. And his English dub is one of the worst I've heard. Man,
it is
one of these films.
It is, man, but it still cracks me up. I like him in Caliber 9, and there's another one. What is that? Just got through watching.
What have you done to your daughters? Or you on about his Police Tesky? Because he was in quite a few.
Yeah,
he was in a few.
Yeah, but yeah, he's a great actor, man. Every time I've seen him, I think he has over 100 credits, and
yeah.
Solid actor. But yeah, man. So then we get on, man. Like, and there's a scene where she's with him, and like it's like 4:30 in the morning. She's wearing his long sleeve shirt and all that. She comes up with an apple, and I'm already getting the vibe of like Adam and Eve kind of shit, you know. And then she's giving him this gift of these butterflies in a frame, you know. And he's like, he even says that when she kisses him, he's like, "You taste like apple," you know. I taste the apple or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh shit, you know. That's like, there's a lot of metaphorical shit.
Oh,
in this
yeah.
film, man. It really is.
But she mentions how a certain species of butterfly can't fly. They can flap their wings and all that, and that comes into play later on in the film.
Introducing the whole butterfly like thing into the movie was to introduce that plot point, which is that one species can't fly and everything too, and how that comes into play like later on in the film.
And you can go down a rabbit hole with that, but I don't know if this was like going on during this time, but it puts me in the mind of like the MK Ultra mind control shit. I don't know if y'all ever heard that. Yeah, the monarch butterfly, you know.
Yeah, I mean, the symbolism part for me too, kind of puts me in mind of like, you know, the heaven and hell thing. So like, you know, you can't get to heaven if you can't fly. Like, you know, if you want to look at that metaphorically, and then the whole thing with like the apple, and it's just like maybe that these people are evil, and they're get ahead of myself. But yeah.
So this film was originally titled The Short Night of the Butterfly.
Yep.
But what happened was around about the same time, The Bloodstained Butterfly, which is a fucking great giallo film, I highly recommend. That kind of beat them to it. And they even went as far as to having the posters all done up, you know, Short Night of the Butterfly. They had to like kind of put glass dolls in its place underneath.
That 100% makes more sense in this movie than glass dolls.
Well, it was called Malestrana as well at one point. Early on.
Malestrana. Lado said he wanted it called Malestrano, but
and that was like a suburb in Zagreb, I think. Or
there's 4 places. There's the higher, the lower, or the higher, the mid, the lesser, and then there was like a castle district There's these 4 districts that broke up Prague or whatever. I believe I'm right on that. Somebody might
Yeah,
press me out in
because
the
they thought that
comments.
no one would actually understand the title, which is,
Right.
you know, kind of makes
It
sense.
makes sense though. Like Malastrana, who the hell wants to go see that? You know, like I don't know,
But after she gives him that present, he you know, we go back to him then, you know, and he's in the morgue. But he thinks
yeah,
like
it keeps
this
going
is
back
what
to his
this
dead
is
body.
what it's like
Or-
when you're dead. Yeah.
Yeah, keeps going
Yeah.
back to his body, and then he remembers some more, flashes back and forth, cuts back and forth. But like that scene where, like right after that, we keep seeing this like these crystal chandeliers, you know,
Right.
and he wakes up in the night. So you're like, it's ambiguous in that way. Like, is he just imagining this shit, or did this really happen? Like in his body, is he doing that now, or did this shit happen? You know, and like, what is
Yeah,
all
because
that about?
it
Like,
does kind of fade into that in
Yeah.
odd ways that you kind of or can't tell if it's happening in the present or if it's something, you know, that happened in the past too.
right.
Maybe
And at
maybe
one
that was
point-
purpose.
Did he kill her at one point? You know,
Yeah.
this is what I thought early on. It's going to go
Yeah.
that route, and that's why I like it better because it throws you curveball after curveball.
It does.
I'm sure, like you say, a couple of you thought that as well. Was he the actual murderer?
Right.
They tried to almost imply it at one stage.
Yeah,
There was
let me-
yeah.
Let me do this right quick, and we can be free. You know, we won't be butterflies with broken wings and shit. You know.
Mother, this cloth smells of death.
Like the fact that you constructed that for spoilers is great.
But yeah, so that lets
yeah.
everybody know. You know, they can't. Nobody can say, "Well, you spoiled the damn film for me." You know.
So it's kind of a red herring that after you find out him being the murderer and that thing, that idea that's kind of like pitched out there is kind of a red herring for what's actually like
Mhm.
going on in the film. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Jessica and Jacques, you know, I'm confused because I've watched both cuts and I can't remember like if it's Jack or if it's Jacques or whatever.
Yeah.
It's
Anyway.
Jack, but it's actually spelled Jack. Yeah,
Jacques, yeah. So like they're both telling him like, leave this shit alone, like quit, you know. So then that's a red herring. Like, why do they keep persisting on him to leave it alone? You know. So
Well,
you're like,
she's got interest in him, you know, from a love point of view.
he does,
So I
but
think that's her motivation.
but I
Jack's,
then
Go
I
on.
start thinking that they're in with the people that's involved. You know what I mean? That's what it makes me feel like when I'm watching the film. Like I'm thinking that they're involved as well to get
Right.
wealth and
There's
fame.
so many different scenarios that go through your mind. You know,
Yeah.
how's this gonna, you know, turn out?
Right. So
But
so
that
then we-
scene with that scene in the party. So you've got that millionaire, like blonde woman, and she's just there stoned out of her mind, where Jack starts feeling her up and all that.
and that's confusing to me. Like is she just out of her damn head because she's on drugs, or is she like
Or is she being manipulated
or is she
by
in a trance?
them?
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the impression that I got was that there's some sort of like mind control or some sort of control being used there, and that
Right.
goes along with the whole theme of like the elite that have some sort of
Yeah.
you know way to
Right.
go about doing that at this point. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Well, I thought that as well. Maybe she's being groomed to be one of the next victims.
yeah.
Yeah. And then so he goes back home where like he gets called he gets called out, right? He is already home. He gets called out by Jack to come check out some shit. Somebody killed themselves, supposedly.
Yeah, young woman.
Yeah.
And then the chick's normal. And then she's coming on to him. You know, and then he goes back home and then she's gone. She's vanished without a trace. Even the dress that she was wearing is there. So
Yeah.
she had to have left completely naked, you know, like and everybody's like, "Oh, you're just tripping," kind of deal. Like, you know,
Like a
Mhm.
passport's there, a person,
her
money,
Tampax
everything.
there, all that, everything. You know.
You know that's something's up when that shit's still there. boys.
Yeah, right.
Uh,
So, but yeah, man, it then we then we go back to the morgue and they're trying to figure out why is rigor mortis not kicked in.
yeah, this is one of my favorite parts of it too. Is that they are the part of it that makes it so tense is that they don't ever give up trying to figure it out. So they know something's the people, the whatever, the coroner or the doctors or whoever are there, they know something's up because his body temperature is not going down to the level of the other, corpses in the morgue. And
Even when they put him in the
right,
drawer, you know.
right. And so they're like, there's something, and this just keeps going on, and little by little, like they start running more and more tests and trying to figure out what, is there brain activity or is anything like going on or anything like that. So like that's kind of the subplot aside from the plot about him trying to figure out what's going on. So the subplot here is that like what's going to happen, are they going to find out that he's really alive or like not, basically, which is a great kind of like
it keeps you like it keeps you watching. Like you got to watch it to the end. Now you're hooked in. Like I've heard some people say that this film's boring, and I was just like,
well, shit.
I
There's
guess,
some people that say any Shallows boring, but like I mean, it's not though to me. I mean, I don't know how. If you like suspense or like murder mysteries, there's no way in hell you're not gonna like this film. Like it's just not possible.
Yeah, definitely.
I've heard it called not a giallo as well. People don't think it's a giallo, but it really is. It's a murder mystery, isn't it? And it is kind of sleazy in places too. So
it is, but I think they don't think it's a giallo because there's not a dude with like black gloves in it.
This is it,
Right.
This is it, yeah.
And also, I could play devil's advocate and say, if they're looking at it in the lens of there's some supernatural shit going on, I could definitely see that. But that's where the film don't never say. It leaves it ambiguous. I love that. Like it don't say if it's supernatural or if it's some kind of hypnotism shit going on. Like
that's right. You never really find out what it is. Yeah.
So the next like scene or two, there's a lot of foreshadowing. So you've got the tomato scene where the scientist or what have you, and he pierces this tomato, and you don't realize, the significance of that until the ending. Did you notice the painting on the wall in the back as well?
Yeah,
it's kind of like Gregory when he like, I know we're doing spoilers towards the end of the film when he's led on the
table,
autopsy table. And that's right in the background of when him and Jessica go
thing
to investigate.
With these, I guess like these secret societies or whatever. Like everything's in plain sight. Everything they do is in plain sight. Kind of deal. And even I mean, I'm not being like a conspiracy theorist or nothing like that. I'm just saying, I'm sure there's something along those lines where. There's nods and winks to each other that's in the club, right?
But,
yeah, I feel like that's probably true too. Yeah.
And he gets warned, didn't he, by the police as well at some stage to kind of leave this alone, don't get involved.
He goes hard on him. Like he's been told as well. Like the higher ups have kind of probably put pressure on him. What I get the sense out of it.
One of my favorite things about this movie is the idea that like there's an unknown kind of cabal that other people are kind of aware of, and it's not really outwardly stated until the end, but like throughout the movie, it's kind of hinted at, and I love movies like that. I've always it's this is like Rosemary's Baby kind of. Thing or whatever vibe you want. It's like that. That vibe I've always liked.
The Believers is another one that's kind of like this in a way. I love cult films where it's more than one person. It's like
Yeah.
That makes it more terrifying to me. Like anywhere you look, it could be one of them. You don't know. Like,
Definitely, yeah. And it's a conspiracy of sorts, like, yeah.
So
yeah.
when Gregory starts to dive into what's going on, we find out that there's been a lot of missing girls over the last, recent couple of years.
Mhm.
And he goes investigating. I think he ends up at one of the girls' like parents to ask questions, and they kind of shut him down.
She does. The mother does.
Yeah.
And
And
then
I
you
think
hear somebody getting hit in the background, like,
exactly, yeah.
and
Yeah.
he's screaming out. He's like, "Why are you being cowards? Tell them, you know." And
Yeah. It's
then you
like
hear
the
his ass
whole
getting beat up.
the whole town or the whole city or what have you just don't want to talk about all this that's been going on, like as if they know and they just too scared to like come forward.
And then you see all these clocks in that house, right? That's a
Yeah,
weird. Like, why the hell's what's with all them multiple clocks everywhere?
I think I know why that is. I think because he's into kind of time zones.
Mhm.
So he's like before he was dead, and now is he dead or after he's dead? We don't know what he's experiencing, and I
Yeah,
think that's what Lado was going for. I think he said in one of his interviews.
right.
That's why the time thing comes up quite a bit in this film.
Yeah, and then like the people as well. When you see the people that's involved, like they're like pale looking, and they look like they've had I don't know. They look kind of like I mean, he describes them as mummies. At one point.
Yeah.
Uh,
That Valinsky guy as well. He crops up in it. He's
Well, that's
kind of
the
one of the big guys, isn't he, to do with it all.
yeah.
One of the great parts about it is that like a lot of the people that would be involved, they look really like vampirish and like pale,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and
Mm.
I think that goes on later to kind of like to kind of help explain the whole young
Yeah,
they've got theme that they've got going on.
definitely does.
There's quite a lot of themes in this as well, because there's a couple of scenes with the blind people, and it's like what Lado was trying to do with that as well. It's like he's put blind people in this film because you don't realize what's in front of your very eyes, and that's kind of with the whole story that's going on. So that's kind of interesting how we put different themes in. All this, like you say, just adds up, and as it's going on, and we start to unravel the pieces of the puzzle. It's edge of the seat stuff, I think. Um,
Yeah, it definitely is, man. It's
but all the missing girls are like traced to like this chamber like music they play. Because he goes to see the blind guy, doesn't he? And he literally tries to tell him what's going on, but like cryptically,
yeah,
he's got
that's
to go on
another
with
thing.
whatever.
They all have that in common. They all love music, and
Yeah.
so there's something to do with that. So that kind of like hints to me that it is some kind of hypnotism shit, because we see like this bell at one point,
Mm.
and then I meant to clip it, man. Like I was just gonna clip this one woman when she's going like,
Yeah.
It's
oh,
either
man.
that or they're just really devout hippies. Like it's
Yeah.
either that it's got something to do with like hip 60s music.
Yeah, definitely, man. It's like super hippies to the extreme. Some sex magic or something, but like, I mean, even if they're the only ones that believe it, it's going down, So
Got all the colors of the dark vibe as well in places. This film.
mhm.
But he goes to see the old man, and then he just won't speak to him, and he gives a message to this boy to talk to this old man. And then you've got the bridge scene. There's a couple of bridge scenes in this film as well, which is kind of interesting. But the one where the guy, he kind of originally they were going to do it all in fog without the train, but
Mhm.
then Aldo Lado kind of like was talking about how much that would cost. Then the producer was like, "Oh no, we'll get the train. We'll do it like that way." But then you find out with this, he was a member of this Club 99, and he's just been killed. And then it starts to unravel, and kind of, you're getting into like the third act pretty much from then on in.
Yeah, he gets the card off of him, the Club 99 card, and then I played it in that little clip where you hear him saying they don't let them fly.
That's just an amazing kind of like, when he's like dying and he's saying that, and like that whole speech, which really, it doesn't make any sense at the time, but there's something about it that's just horrifying until you really find out what it really means. I love the idea of Club 99 too, which is basically just like, a past version of the Diddy Party Club. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like,
it really is.
Yeah.
That's what it is, basically.
Yeah, it's been going on a long damn time, man. That kind of shit. But you get this. I mean, we go on from there, right? I guess we're getting closer to the end, aren't we? Already?
Yeah, pretty much. Did you guys notice as well about the maybe Argento seen this for Suspiria, where you've got the American, and they try and kind of investigate in and come upon this cult. I know it's not a cult in Suspiria. I know it's witches and all that, but I kind of think maybe he got that idea. It's possible.
Maybe. But let's see.
There is another scene in this movie too that's kind of reminiscent of the scene in Suspiria too. You know the scene where his head's kind of like on a swivel and he's just like spinning around?
Yeah, that's when he sees the true Club 99, right?
Yeah. So the same thing with the skeleton thing, and remember the commercial for Suspiria where the woman like spins around. It's the same lighting and the same everything from those two things.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm sure he got the idea or some of the idea from that. I know like Darren Nickelodeon's like grandmother as well with the witches, but it's kind of all blends together.
Yeah.
Right. But man, when I guess before we get to the Club 99 scene though, like, so he's, they've exhausted all their energy trying to resuscitate him. I mean, they've, and this guy Cardin, the guy with the tomatoes and all, like he's done, he's, they've exhausted everything. Like, so they're like, well, I think it's best to have an autopsy, all this shit. And you're like, what the hell? But so then it goes flashbacks again. And then I might be getting mixed up, but when he goes back to his apartment, after he gets thrown off a bridge and he goes to the inspector, they let Walensky comes and gets him and says, just go home. You need to rest. And then he wakes up and it's like that score really kicks in. It's like amped to the max.
Yeah.
And it's like, some sinister shit's going on. And Gearin with the damn chandeliers in his eyes and shit, right? He gets up and it's pitch black in his room, but it's got that blue tint to it. And then he's like, you see the refrigerator slowly creaking open and shit like that light. And he starts walking up, man. And finally he sees Myra in the damn refrigerator. And so I got to thinking, do you think she's dead or do you think she's like he is now?
That was what I thought.
You know what I'm saying?
I thought that they were kind of keeping her some sort of weird suspended animation, while she's still like in that state. That was my impression by that scene. Yeah.
And it would make sense as well, being in a fridge where she's not decomposing or anything like that.
Right.
That's a really, once you see that image of her in the fridge as well, I think that's kind of an iconic shot for the film.
I think so. And then the gun falls out, like it just falls out, and then he grabs the gun. And I'm thinking, oh shit! But then he wants to kill himself because he's lost the love of his life, kind of deal. And then the police are banging, so he's like, oh shit, I got to get out of here.
So really weird. You're right. Like all the juxtapositions of everything that happens in that one scene is kind of odd, but like, it's a really amazingly shot scene, which is what makes it so good. The colors, when it shows the refrigerator and the way that it's filmed and the reactions that he has. It's really well done, and I think that's why it stands out so much overall in the film.
Yeah, and they kept her away for so long.
Yeah.
So it's real effective in that way too. I mean, of course, you see her in the flashbacks or whatever, but still. And this is like when you go into this film the first time you watch it, it's like, for me anyway, it was it fucked my head up. I was like, I gotta see this shit again.
Yeah, it's the other part about it too. It's hard to really describe this verbally, but like it's a beautifully shot film.
Yeah,
like there's something about it that just maybe it's all the paintings and all the symbolisms and all the everything that's in it and the way that it's lit. And there's a lot of really like interesting color schemes, like a lot of blues and a lot of reds and things that are the way that some scenes are shot.
But at the same time, everything's muted too, and it's
especially
on the outside.
Especially in the morgue scenes and stuff too. But it's just incredibly well filmed.
It is. It's such a dreary, gloomy looking, like all the exteriors, like this looming dread on the city, and but but man, so then he goes, and then he's freaking out. I'm trying to remember. I'm getting mixed up too because it's the way this film goes. It flips back and forth so much. He talks to Jacques, and Jacques like, "Look, I'm in front of the club, and a bunch of people are going in there, and there's not an orchestra tonight. So I think we need to go in." And then right when he's getting off the phone, there's a switchblade we see, and
that's kind of your traditional giallo shot as well,
right?
Because there's not many in this film.
And he's on his way, headed to meet Jack or whatever, and he gets his way, sneaks around into the club. Then he sees the real shit. He sees the true Club 99, like what they're doing. And this shit here. Holy.
That scene is so great. How do you describe that?
Man, it's like an intense
a lot of writhing.
Yeah, a lot of old people. Sex orgy.
Yeah, it's like Society, like the scene in Society at the end, but not like. Also, like when in Rosemary's Baby, when she's having the dream and everything, and some of the like brief glimpses of things that you see, it's kind of like that, but like you see more of it, like all over the place, like just pure chaos.
They did that. It was kind of it was interesting the way they did that as well. So they shot two scenes. They shot one with the old people and one with the young.
Right.
And the old people were didn't want to get their clothes off or kind of covering their private parts at one point. Yeah. And then once Aldo Lado turned around, he said, just go for it. And then once they started to get into it, you can see. And then
they really got into it.
They got into it.
Kind of too much. So they put all the clips of the young people and the old people together. So it does look like it's a continued orgy between everyone.
Yeah.
It's just
so good.
If it's a fuck buffet, isn't it? It's just like a smorgasbord of just flesh and stuff. Just and when you see it, it's just jarring because it's just a bunch of people just writhing around in different cuts and like. Yeah, it really does do what it intends to do.
The old people naked as well, and they just don't hold back at all at that point.
A lot of gyrating on, there's a chick on the table on a slab gyrating, and
she's really going to town. Yeah,
she is. And then, Gregory or whatever, he's hallucinating. He's seeing Myra and shit, which and then Valinsky comes out of the darkness, right? And you're like, oh shit, And he's like, that's not Myra, But I did write this shit down, what they say.
I was hoping that you did, Dirk.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty good.
It is. It's pretty crazy as hell. So Valinsky pops out of the darkness telling him it's not Myra. She rejected them. She was a rebel. She rejected wealth and sex. The lures we use all over the world. These drugs, more than most, will numb your thoughts and consciousness. And now she sleeps. You will suffer the same fate. Rebels must be put to sleep, eliminated. Nothing may change. We are the power of the past. We will hold the reins of the world as long as there are people willing to be killed, to shed their blood, and nothing may change. Our only enemy is the thought and the awakening of the consciousness. Therefore, we must not allow any kind of rebellion. None. We need the young to keep us alive and to sustain us. They must become like us and think like us. Those who refuse are put to sleep. And then you see this woman come out and she says, catalepsy, right? And then somebody else says for a whole day. And it's like they're casting a spell on them or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
But or it's either magic or it's fucking hypnotism. And then he says, soon your body will be found and they will think you're dead. Now you'll sleep to awake only once you're buried. Back to real time. And then we're at the autopsy scene. Right?
Yeah, such a great finale, man.
That shit is like,
yeah. And they're wearing like what looks to be Rhea Ripley's entrance hood from like WrestleMania, big fucking like bronze thing that he's got on or whatever.
He's got like these thick bifocals on, right?
Yeah, and but that speech pretty much sums up like the entire like movie and the rationale for them. It's basically just saying, you know, we don't need any free. It's the symbolism part. We don't need any free thinkers.
Right.
We don't need any radical ideas. We need people to be like stupid and complacent, and that's what keeps the old people going. That's essentially like what he's saying.
Yeah, the people in power. It keeps them having power.
And then in turn with that is that like we feed off of that, and that's what keeps us alive. Is, you know, the young and things like that. Right. So yeah, and when you start to figure that part out, you're like, holy shit! Like this movie, like
But yeah, man. And then we get to the damn autopsy, and so Gregory can feel and hear his heart beating. And he's like, oh, like it's. And so then I started thinking about it. I was like, wait a minute. That one guy said for a whole day. So does that mean like in 24 hours, this shit wears off? You know, because he starts to shake his hand a little bit. And he's getting his, you know, he's starting to move, and you're like, oh yeah, hell yeah, man, he's coming back, dude.
That is such a tense finale, man.
Yeah.
And they're all watching. You've got all the students, they're ready.
Right.
Jessica's obviously watching on, and you can tell she's in love with him.
Right. But I think
the way it's set up is great. Like absolutely, like like really tense. You just don't know how this is going to end at one point. It's got to be one of the best endings ever to a channel film.
But like, I was wondering though, like, do you think Jessica knew? Because it's like she keeps trying throughout the film, she keeps trying to detour him from doing what he's doing.
Well, the police actually tell her, don't they? The police tell her what's going on, that Gregory's the one who killed Myra.
I know,
and she's kind of in two minds, but I don't think she believes it. Because obviously she goes right to the end to see what's gonna, go
I know,
on.
but I'm saying I think she's just playing the role. She's going with emotions. In my opinion, I think she's with them because we see early on at the party, we see her rubbing elbows with a couple people.
It's true.
And then
I think they're trying to get her on board, but I don't think she's with them.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
That's what's so good about it, because this.
I think she's with him. I think
you've got to work it out.
She's trying to get his ass away and like stop him because she loves him.
I actually hadn't thought about it like that, Dirk. I actually just thought she was kind of like just hanging out in the periphery of it, but you may be right. Like she's
trying to warn him. That would make sense. I can see that too.
Because she's real. Man. Like there's some things she says it's weird. Like when he's trying to investigate, I know she loves him or whatever, but at the same time, it's I kind of think she's in with him, like that she wants wealth and power, and but I guess she had to get in with them with that. You know what I mean? Like
this is not like a one-time watch anyway. I think you need 3 or 4 watches, maybe more.
You do.
But there's some really good foreshadowing at the very beginning when he gets wheeled into the morgue and everything, and they're inspecting him. He's like, he says something to himself. Where he's like, maybe I should like figure out a way to move my hand or something like that, or maybe I
Yeah.
should try to move my. So at the very beginning of the movie, you get the idea that he's been like trying to do this. He's like working himself up to doing this, like that. It's possible that he could like figure out like or be able to do that at some point. And then he does it at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
I was like, I hate to say it because I should have known better, but I was rooting for him to like, to get up and or like do something and somebody know like what was going on. I guess somebody did notice, but yeah.
You've got the revelation as well, where the doctor was his friend, when he was alive, technically alive.
Yeah.
But then we find out that he's behind it all as well, and he's doing the autopsy, and he knew all along what was going on.
Right, and he's like seems like to be the leader,
Yeah.
And so all that was
Black Mass,
or not, yeah.
Right. It's such a dark, bleak.
It is, man. When I saw it, I was like, God Almighty.
It's cold as hell, like the way it is.
How do you guys feel about that final shot? So if you notice the painting, the scream, it's exactly the fucking same.
Oh yeah,
she's exactly the same.
Yeah, I got the scream right behind.
Yeah.
The old ass.
So he must have been drawing inspiration from that painting.
Yeah,
because paintings are quite a big theme in this as well.
Oh yeah,
all the way through.
A lot of Italian cinema, you'll see a lot of symbolism with the paintings and artwork, sculptures, but
so when you watch this movie, though, man, you get the feeling that a lot of movies that would come after this, like Eyes Wide Shut and things like that, that were dealing with topics like that, like the elite, and that there's an underground kind of system, and they're holding everybody down, and there's a conspiracy, and against different kind of classes. This was 1971. Like when this movie came out, like
all about the ruling class,
yeah. So it's like this concept and this idea has been going on for 50 plus years now. So that's just wild to me.
And it's some of the greatest, to me, like some of the greatest films that I've seen. There's not a million of them, but the ones that are great. And this one here it's right up there, man. Like, I'd put it right there with Eyes Wide Shut. I mean,
well, I mean, you kind of wonder, like, I don't know. I don't think that Kubrick took from this film. He may have, I don't think he did. But it's the same type of film, really, when you boil it down to like what it is. And I remember reading when I was doing research about this that like it was based on a lot of what the director saw with the mafia in Prague, which makes sense because it's an underground network of people that are actually controlling everything, and like was a legitimate thing going on at the time, and just kind of extrapolate that, but make it with supernatural kind of weird, hypnotic or whatever the case is kind of elements. And that's this movie,
It kind of makes you wonder as well, because when a director usually tackles this topic, look at Dallamano. I know it's kind of different, with the Schoolgirls in Trilogy, and he ended up dying mysteriously in a car crash.
Yeah.
You got Kubrick. I know that wasn't really mysterious, but he died straight after Eyes Wide Shut. And you kind of wonder whether Aldo Lado was on the list as well, but he managed to survive and he lived well into his 80s.
Right.
But yeah, that would have been interesting if he'd have been bumped off too, because there would surely be something in it then for exposing people,
Definitely, man. It's
so I want to tell you though, this now that I've seen it's weird because if we just, in my mind, you got to take out Argento from the conversation about giallos, because like his giallos to me are like on a different level, because they just are. I don't know how to explain it. But if you take him out of the equation, then this has to be in like my top 5.
Yeah.
Okay. Hell yeah.
Of like, and I've seen a lot of them, not as many as you guys, but a lot, enough to, form a pretty good idea. But this one, if you took out Argento stuff and maybe some of Fulci stuff, because those are both like top tier kind of things, like this is going to be in the top 5 for me.
Yeah.
It's just it's the way it's filmed incredibly well. The acting is great. The idea is great. The way it works backwards is amazing. Everybody in it is really, really good and competent. But most of all, the cinematography is just outstanding.
And I don't remember. I think it's the featurette on this release. The guy pointed out that it's similar, if you think about it, to kind of like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and in some aspect, like, and there's even a part where he says, "I need to rescue her from the body snatchers." Like, so,
There
like,
is, yeah.
you know, and I'm sure Lado. Well, of course, it had to have been the one from the 50s, right? Because
I think it happens in both. It happens in the.
Well, I know
remake
I'm
too.
saying, but that came out in 78. This is 71.
Oh yeah.
It couldn't have been the southern one.
Yeah. But
there's a weird kind of kinship with an animated film that came out called Fantastic Planet in 1973, and it's kind of had the same undercurrent storyline.
I saw that. That was highly banned. Is that the Soviet Union? Over in Prague and in that area, it was banned because it was like they were like, no, this is way too much. You're touching on the political structure over here. You're talking about us, you know.
And that featured like these blue humanoids who are kind of controlling the world,
controlling everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Anything else you want to bring up, Darren?
Well, in terms of like trivia and that, so
okay.
You've got Ingrid Thurman. She plays Jessica. And in one scene, Aldo Lado wanted to do her where we see her eyes, and there's like a shadow scene where the light's coming through the window.
Yeah.
But they fucked that up royally, where she literally had burning eyes. She
was burned her eyes.
Agony. Yeah, and she kind of never forgive him after that, he was saying. Even though they were on talkative terms, and I think he even visited her a few times. But yeah, that would have been kind of like disturbing at the time.
What do you think about the guy? We didn't even mention him. The legless.
Oh Jesus Christ! I forgot about that.
The war cripple at the beginning of the film.
I was like, "What in the hell does this have?" Like, he just comes out of nowhere. Yeah,
that's crazy as hell, man. But that score, the way it opens with the heart beating and everything, then you hear like these moans and it's so like, what the shit? The way it kicks off.
Well, that score has got to be in like the top 5. If you take Goblin out of the equation, and Fabio Frizzi and all that, it's like in terms of music, it's superb.
It's not used very much in the film either. But when it is used, it's like amped up to 11, and like it really like helps with the scene. That's the good part about it.
It's haunting, isn't it? Yeah, it's exactly good, And I think Morricone had seen the film, and afterwards he wrote that score. Because he was watching the film in silent and just literally just making the score up, which is kind of interesting. And that's where they got the woman singer in as well.
So I was listening to Lado. He was talking about like the basis of the film. Like, so I didn't know if y'all knew this, but like Ernesto Gastaldi originally was writing this. And then,
he's credited as well.
Then Lado completely changed it. It's his directorial debut, but Lado had been in the industry since like 62. So this, like, he'd been around. He'd already seen, I mean, and you could tell, even though it was his first film, I mean, he knew what he was doing. So
so that's where there's a guy called Maurizio Lucidi, and he made a brilliant giallo called The Designated Victim in 1971. He wanted to, so he, like, Aldo Lado showed him the script, the screenplay and what have you, and he wanted to do that film so bad, but Lado turned around and said, no, this is going to be my one, it's going to be my debut. And even the producer tried to get him to like co-direct with this guy as well at one point. But he stuck to his guns and made the film that he wanted to make.
So Lado said, also, he said, communist regimes keep people in fear. No one will speak out because they would be thrown in madhouses. And like, that was the real shit. And like, he was in Prague scouting for a location for another film that never got made. And
Right.
he's like,
Yeah.
and then he was like, "That's when I'm gonna make my. This is where I'm gonna make my film." And then he said, if any politician sees this film, they would be angry at me. Those who are in power won't let it go and feed off the blood of the young. That's Lado.
Jesus, that's a quote right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine
Lado.
anybody saying that shit now. Like nobody would say anything like that now.
Right. But yeah, man. I can't stress it enough. I hope it came across so good enough, like, because this one is high tier.
Yeah, I don't think you
Oh,
can.
yeah.
I don't think you can do it justice. You just have to see it. Like there's so many layers to the movie, and it's so well done that yeah. Also, let's talk.
Oh, go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry. Talk for a second about Celluloid Dreams, which for my money,
Yeah.
Right.
when it comes to giallos, are probably the best releasing company that there is. Like I don't know anybody else that does a better job
I think so. I really
releasing it. And with the stuff
do. You
that
see
comes
the
with it.
love and the passion.
Yeah.
Look at this
Yeah.
damn book. I mean, everything you get with it. You got the
Yeah.
Darren. You got the. I got them back here.
I've
You
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
the-
I got- yeah. I can show.
Okay.
I can show
Big
off.
ass lobby cards that come with it too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're superb. You've got the film strip as well.
Yeah. I forgot.
And I was
These
kind
lobby
of
cards are actually the size of lobby cards too.
They are. Yeah. Yeah.
Like the real ones, not like whatever they're putting in these things, card stock or whatever.
And they got the black belly of the tarantula coming out soon as well. And
Right.
they're going to do exactly the same bang up job with that as well. So I think they are the best in terms of giallo. Easily, I don't think there's anyone that can touch them.
Yeah.
No, so they got this coming as well, which
I
that's a
can't
great
wait.
one. This is a great
Have
one.
you seen
too.
that one, Uncle Bill? Have you seen Black Belly of Tarantula?
Yeah, I've got that back here actually. Yeah, it's a great film.
Bax is in that
Yeah.
as well.
That was the first one. So
I have not seen that one, and I didn't get it.
Okay.
I didn't get
okay.
it.
Okay.
Wes is the one that ended up with that one. So yeah,
Right.
That, yeah. Again, without spoiling it, that's kind of got a similar kind of thing going on at one point to this. So yeah.
yeah,
I
definitely.
want to see that one for sure.
But man,
Oh, you'll love that one.
I can get to the chat, man. Go through the comments right quick if y'all want.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got Texas in here. He says, "Welcome to the panel of pain in a stream, but I'll try and be
Panel of
back when
pain.
I can." Okay,
Hey, what's
appreciate
up,
it, Tex. We got Night 90. Hey y'all, what's going on, man?
man? Hey, what's up?
Jim Steidman, what's going on? Brody Stevenson, how you doing, man? The Mayor, I first saw the film about 4 years ago. Yeah. That's about the same time I first seen it as well. So
It had an old Blue Underground when they.
I
first
got the
come out.
Twilight Time Blu-ray.
Yeah, that's a good release as well.
What language is the film? It's in Italian and in English. So you got the English dub. So no problem there if that's that throws you off. I know a lot of people won't watch it if they don't have the English dub. But let's see. Adrian James, what's happening? We got CK in here. Or he wasn't
what's
here.
up, man?
Flying Cheesesteak Brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Mayor says that sounds like a name for a circus act of aerialists. Yeah, for sure. But man, I'm telling you, that featurette is amazing. Check it out. It's only 23 minutes.
Yeah.
But that's some next level shit. And the guy sounds almost like Tim Lucas or something. Like I was like, what the hell?
Like a visual essay. Yeah, it's superb.
But nice case, SPC. Appreciate you. Panel of Pain, what's up? Justin Marino.
Hey, what's up, man?
Got Alpha Romero. What's happening?
Hey, what's up, man?
Dino Jaskowski. My bad. What's going on, CKUB and everyone here tonight?
What's going on?
Got the Beyond in the mail yesterday, Dirk. No problem, man. Appreciate it.
That's a great release.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Everybody it's been giving us support, man. So
Absolutely.
Awesome.
That's right now my release of the year, by the way.
the Beyond.
Yep.
It is killer, no doubt about it. The mayor says I got the arrow blue of Hussar Die. Yeah, it's awesome.
That's the best version.
That's the one I got.
I'll have to get that. Is that still available, or is it
I think you can get it on Amazon if I'm not
You
mistaken.
get it for like 20, I'd say.
I think so.
Yeah.
That's fine as long as it's available. Yeah.
Yep. And Chubbs, what's up, everybody? What's going on?
Hey, what's up?
Got visited by voices. Lauren, good evening, gentlemen.
Hey,
what's
Lauren. Hey, swings, man.
happening? And we got Corey in here. Hey, all. What's happening
Hey.
there? I'm sure people are gone now. they might still be here, but usually love original versions more than English dubs, to be honest. Oh, they got both. And I watched it in Italian as well. So it's
Definitely worth doing the two,
the
just
same
to see
message.
the kind of minor differences in the dialogue.
The dialogue's a little different, but the message is still the same. So.
Yeah.
And what a message! Jesus
It's
Christ.
a powerful film.
What's happening, man? I guess we're
Hey, what's up?
Fixing to get out of here, man. But yeah, I can't stress enough about Celluloid Dreams, man. This is a killer release, and I'm excited for everything they put out. So
Yeah,
I kind of feel like that they're going to be, to me, they're like the Air 444, like what they are to Asian films is what this company is to like Giallos right now. Like they're just putting out like the really awesome obscure stuff and like these amazing packages and all this shit added to it. And Arrow did that to a degree. They put out a bunch of Giallo stuff, and so did Vinegar Syndrome. But I just don't think anybody else is doing it like this. Like I've not seen it anyway. Like not to this degree.
Yeah, because I mean, like I went through all the specs and everything. It's a ton of shit. A ton.
It's stacked. If you claim the two commentaries as well, it's like well over 6 hours of special features.
And Brody's got a question for you. UB, would you prefer the Italian version or the English version?
Well, I watched the English version.
Yeah.
I watched the damn thing 3 or 4 times.
Right.
Here's my thing. Like this is my one exception to this rule are movies like this. When I'm watching a movie, I'm usually like doing something else.
Right.
But when I watch Giallos, or to some degree or another, when I watch like Asian films as well, like I have to be concentrating on them. Like that, you can't like just be doing some other shit and like trying to watch a film like this. It doesn't work. No. So I would probably watch the Italian version of something like this for that reason, just because that's the more kind of accurate version and it forces you to pay attention to because you have to read the subtitles and stuff. So I probably would recommend that you do that.
And if you've seen the film several times, like, and then you go to the Italian. Sometimes it can change the narrative. It don't on this one, but some films it does. Like Blade in the Dark is a completely different film in Italian. Yeah. Like it's way different than the English. You don't get all the silly, weird dialogue like where the dude's talking about what do they say? Baking like a frog in the sun or some shit.
Yeah. All that shit at the top of the steps and everything. Yeah, it's just a very weird.
Yeah. Shit like I think I got a clip actually of that. Hold on, I'll play it. Shit like this. If I could find the damn thing. Hold on. Damn it. Yeah, now I'm gonna look like a dumbass. Over here.
I cannot find it at all.
I got it here.
He's got this, man. Hey, mate, chill out.
There it is.
If there was any whiskey left, this would be a good time to drink it.
Right. Save the tea and yogurt for breakfast.
Shit like that. So, but yeah, man. UB, man. Appreciate you coming on. What y'all got coming up, man?
God, I wish I knew.
I know y'all do the Friday Night Lives every Friday.
Yeah, this Friday will probably just be bullshit session, like, ask us anything type of thing. We've been trying to like alternate between we'll do a commentary over something and then just do like a question the next week. So we did the Home. If people haven't watched that, we did the X-Files Home episode commentary this past Friday, and then this next one will just be BS. But yeah, those have been. I know we're doing a Scream Factory like season 8. I don't know when we were supposed to have already done that, but like it got canceled and it hasn't been rescheduled yet. But I know that's coming up soon.
Okay.
But yeah, as far as for anything else, I'm not sure.
Yeah, man. And yeah, what we got coming? We got to do the Forgotten Jolly, huh?
We're doing Forgotten Jolly next Sunday.
Yep. So we'll be covering. I'm kind of pissed off Vinegar Syndrome right now, but I will.
Oh yeah, you got to tell that story. Have you already told that story, Dirk?
No, I haven't told it, but I have somewhere one of these streams that I'm.
Yeah, you were on ours when you said like, but I just. Yeah,
but you get these 3 Rings of Fear. That's actually the 3rd part of the Schoolgirls in Peril trilogy, After Daughters.
That's got to be one of the best cover arts as well. I love that poster.
That's
Rings of Fear. Yeah.
Red Rings of Fear.
I tried to get the quad of that a few years ago, and it was going like really big price.
I mean, they do kill these sets when they do these Forgotten Jolly, but no, Vinegar Syndrome kind of pissed me off, man. With my Murder Rock, I did get that recently. I mean, it's a killer release, but
yeah,
I mean, it's not the release. It's not I have no problem with the product. It's the customer service is who I had a problem with.
Okay, so here's the weird part about that to me.
Yeah.
Because they're one of the only companies, like, I don't know if anybody remembers this, but like probably a year or 2 ago, I got all of my shit stolen from Vinegar's that they dropped off a Vinegar Syndrome package of mine. They put it on the top of the mailbox. Some asshole drove by and just like took it off there and stole it.
Yeah.
And when I contacted them, I told them like what happened, and they replaced the entire friggin' package, like every movie that was in there. So I had a really good experience with them. But now keep in mind that's been a couple years ago, and a whole hell of a lot can change.
I've heard because they used to be good, but I've been hearing from several people like it's not what it was. And I even told them in an email, I was like, I expect this kind of shit from Scream Factory.
That's a great line.
Yeah. I told them that. I said, but this is a $50 release. This ain't some Walmart bargain bin bullshit, And I let them have it in there, but they didn't message me back.
I mean, you've spent we all have spent thousands at this point probably with Vinegar Syndrome.
Oh, Lord, yeah.
So you'd expect them just to send you a box and
I've never complained about anything.
No. If you're a first-time customer, well, even though it's wrong, they should be doing that. The price you pay for these products, you can kind of understand it, but not with you being, such a good customer. I've never had a problem. I gotta be honest, like shipping wise to the
I've never had a problem, man. But
it's been great
to have glue on my damn hard box. I mean, just send me another hard box, And but the dude told me. Get a damp cloth and wipe it off. And I was like,
killer, Dirk.
Man, I'm not doing that shit, dude.
Get a damp cloth. That's his solution.
Yeah. No, not on cardboard. I even said that. He said, well, nope, put it running under the tap. And I was like, what the hell?
Just use a water hose on it. Fuck it.
They asked you for like a photo at one point, didn't they?
Yeah, I sent them pictures too. Yeah.
See, that's Scream Factory shit. Exactly. That's the kind of stuff that Scream Factory would do. They ask for photos and make you like.
If you look at my past history and see that I've never complained and I've spent thousands of dollars with your dumbass,
Yeah. That's just a really stupid business decision to do that. Like, just just replace it.
I told them they lost the customer. So, if I can get the title alternatively, I will somewhere else. So.
Yep.
Well, it's coming out on 88 Films anyway in the next few weeks, so I'm going to double dip on that one too because I love Murder Rock. I know it's kind of one of the goofier ones from Fulci, but I love that film.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we got Brody saying, thought English dubs make it a lot worse. I don't know.
It depends.
Sometimes it makes it fun.
It's a lottery, yeah.
It makes it funny as shit sometimes, Brody says, so far I love the first 10 Halloween movies, except I haven't seen the last 3, and I heard that Halloween Ends was boring.
You don't need to see the last 3.
You don't need to see that.
You'll be fine.
Yeah. You'll be good.
But I want to mention as well that we got Phenomena coming up in 2 weeks. We're going to completely run down that film. And
because we've had that thumbnail up, but Johnny had to reschedule. He's got some things going on. He's working
Yeah.
like a crazy fool. So,
I almost
Go on.
ahead, sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
I was just gonna say I almost forgot to mention this is May of the Dead too. So we are on our show going to be doing like all like zombie related shit this next month. Or actually, I do know one thing that's coming up.
Okay.
I don't know when it's coming up yet because we haven't necessarily booked it, but I know it's coming up. Is we're booking Dawn May as interview from Synapse Films. That's going to be like one of the first parts of the May of the Dead. May of the Dead, get it? It's the best we can come up with. But yeah, so we're going to hear what's going on over there. And man, there's a lot of shit that they're working on with Felsher, and I guess they're still working on it. Felsher had that health issue and everything, so that might hold that up somewhat. But I know that was the original plan. Yeah,
those are always great streams that y'all do.
Yeah.
I remember one of the ones you did. I sent in a question, and I think you or CK read it out about trauma. And like Felcher was like, no, it's not coming out. And they literally got names like the following fucking week.
Yeah.
I'm like, shit.
That's the way that son of a bitch is. Like, and I can kind of tell now when something's coming out just by the way he answers those questions.
Yeah.
Like here's something that you'll notice about Felcher. If he goes, yeah, like, wouldn't that be great if that came out? It's coming out. Like you can guarantee he knows it's already coming out.
We got Wild Wrangler saying, have we seen Garden of the Dead 1972?
No, can't say
I've heard of it, but I've not seen it. No.
I haven't seen it. No.
I think it's like a Giallo as well.
Really? Damn.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. It might have an alternate title though. You know how that shit goes.
Oh yeah. I do want to quickly mention, like, me and Chris are going to be on his Slasher Nerd channel on Thursday night, and we're going to be covering the Sleepaway Camp films. It's kind of part of our like summer kind of slasher film. I think it's like a big one for him as well because it's like Slasher Part 10 or something. So he wanted to do something special, so that's coming. Right.
All right. Well, man, appreciate it again, UB, man, coming on.
Thanks for inviting
me.
me.
You come on anytime. You know.
Exactly. You're welcome anytime.
Yeah. Definitely.
I have to wait for the next Celluloid Dreams release to come out. Because
or if you want to do Saw Her Die at some point, just let us know and we'll get
Well, I'm actually going to buy that right after I get off here. So yeah.
Nice.
Okay. Cool. But yeah, man, we're gonna get out of here. Y'all have a good week coming up, man, and don't be getting off and talking to old people and leave them alone. Because they might, I'm talking about the ones that got money,
Yeah, you don't want to mess with them.
Yeah. keep your wives and daughters locked up,
You might get trapped inside your own body.
Right. But we're going to get us the hell out of here, man. So I appreciate everybody.
Yeah.
And if I could find this damn thing, here we go.
You have fallen into the EuroCrypt. There is no escape from the EuroCrypt.